I was discriminated sometimes by doctors just thinking that I'm not in pain by the way I look.
And sadly, stories like these are all too common for those suffering from sickle cell anemia. It's a rare genetic disorder of the red blood cells, and more than 6,000 Canadians, actually more than half here in Ontario, live with this condition, and that number is increasing as the population grows. And while it can affect people of all ethnicities, the Sickle Cell Awareness Group of Ontario, or SCAGO, is looking to eliminate racial bias in healthcare. So let's welcome Lanre Tunji Ajayi, president of Sickle Cell Awareness Group of Ontario, who joins us now to shed some more light on this very important subject. Thank you so much, Lanre, for joining us.
Thank you, Candace, for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So there are several types of sickle cell anemia. I'm going to try and summarize it as best as I can. It affects the red blood cells and the hemoglobin, which is the iron and the oxygen, obviously vital for us. And it can slow them down, clog them up, delay the transport of those very important nutrients and proteins to our vital organs, and sadly that can result in fatal complications. So how is this treated in this province?
So sickle cell disease, as you rightly mentioned, affects every organ of the body and leads to complications such as damage to vital organs of the body, the eyes, the kidney, the liver, the heart. Typically, it's best to be seen by hematologists in comprehensive care centers, like we have the UHN, University Health Network, Sickle, McMaster Medical Center in Hamilton, London.
Very specialized, though.
Very specialized. Yeah. So it is only treated effectively in comprehensive care centers. As you rightly mentioned, it's a very complex disease. And so patients are truly encouraged to make sure that they do see and hematologists that follow them in order to ensure that they have that comprehensive care plan to ensure that they have better health outcomes.
And that can involve a lot of travel and a lot of expense for the patients. As we mentioned,
very true.
More than half of all Canadians who are at least reported with this disease live here in Ontario. And about 7 years ago, the government at the time released a clinical handbook addressing the link between racial bias and the level of care, the access of care for those who suffer from sickle cell disease. Tell us more about those challenges that patients face accessing equality and equitable care.
So as you might know, most people that have sickle cell disease identify as Black. Even though this disease also affects people from other ethnic backgrounds, like people from South America, people whose ancestry are from the Middle East and so on, but the majority are Black. And so there is anti-Black racism even in the healthcare system. So even with the clinical handbook for vaso-occlusive crisis, or the more recently put together quality standards for sickle cell disease, individuals with the disease are still reporting very biased, substandard care when they interact with the health system, especially when they go in for, pain, episodic pain crisis. That is the hallmark of the disease. They are often branded as drug-seeking, and then they are not provided with the right care at the right time. Most of the time, they get delayed or even no treatment for their disease.
And that's part of what SCAGO is doing, is to work on the standardizing of care.
Exactly. And so as an organization, we have been part of what the Ontario Health is leading in getting quality standards for sickle cell disease. Now, the quality standards have been developed, and now it's in dissemination and implementation stage, whereby hospitals across the province have access to these quality standards to guide them in providing the right care, the quality care for people with sickle cell disease. Sadly, even though there is this document, it's still not every healthcare provider that actually is aware or using the standard. So we're asking Ontario Health and the Ministry of Health to make sure there is accountability on the quality of care that the patients are receiving. in this province.
And that is what is happening on March 5th, the March on Queen's Park, where the sickle cell, where SCAGO is seeking those answers from the provincial government. And we have the website up there where you can find out more and where you can join in this fight for accountability, this fight for advocacy and awareness. Lanre, thank you so much for your time.
And thank you, Candice, for having me.
Once again, our pleasure. And it's time for a quick break here on Global News Morning. Please stay with us.